Doris, one of the things with CAE that we've learned through our partnership is the breadth of clients and customers that you have, all the way from, individual, I guess, sections within colleges, all the way to bigger systems and colleges and even governments. Can you let us know a little bit about some of the work that you do with, I guess, the breadth of those customers?
Sure. So at the smallest end, our smallest clients, they are individual institutions of higher education.
Right.
And typically, so far, these institutions have been using the value-added model. So they'll assess entering students in the beginning of their time, the first semester in which they enter university. And then in the spring semester, so during the same academic year, they'll assess exiting students. So these are not the same students. This is a cross-sectional model. And then we give them how well, we look at the difference between the entering and exiting students and we give them a score. Either it's a value-added score or it is an effect size, depending on how many students they have and what type of institution, et cetera. So that's at the smallest end. And then we have systems. So we have universities that have multiple campuses, and they will sometimes use it for all of the campuses within their system. And they measure, for example, the third-year students, because they want to be able to know where they are, either benchmarking, or they'll measure all of their entering students because they want to try to be able to improve their skills.
Right.
We also have groups that are within the United States. The government level ones are usually within state university systems, like I said, where they have multiple campuses.
Mm.
But internationally, we've been involved with quite a few different types of institutions as well. So in Latin America, for example, we engage with individual universities, and most of them are looking to measure the growth of their students within particular fields of study. So they're not just interested at institutional level, they want to know how their STEM students are doing, as an example. We also have different states that are testing, again, same model, similar, where it's all the campuses. We did have a participating group internationally use the assessments for exiting students as a graduation requirement. So instead of, because our assessments are domain agnostic, so you can be from any field of study and take the assessment and do well. You don't have to have prior knowledge in content area. They wanted to replace content assessments, so assessments in physics, and use a similar assessment across all students so that there would be a standardized assessment they could measure against each other. Because if you have domain-specific assessments, you can't measure across domains
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So that is another use. And then we have a partnership with the OECD in Paris, and they help us with recruiting ministries, so higher, larger organizations at the ministry level. And so we have had ministries of education participate with us. And that, in that case, it's less so individual student focused and more at the institutional level, like how well do higher education institutions within a country do.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's more of a benchmarking type of thing. It's not comparative, but it's just looking at, it's a snapshot, I should say, of how well students are doing.
Right. Right.
So it's everything from small schools all the way, like you said, up to ministry level.